There aren't many banking conversations you can have where your money is definitely guaranteed to grow, but this morning we have one for you, so I'm sure I've got your attention now. This is Jordan Bartow. He is with Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union, and he is here this morning talking about CDs. Always they've been a good thing, but the rates right now, especially with you, Jordan, they're fantastic.
They are absolutely fantastic. So we have a 10-month special right now that's a little bit at 5.5% APY, but in general, rates are pretty high. And CDs are a great investment because they're low risk. You're locking up your money for a set period of time, and you're guaranteed that rate of return. Normally with a savings account, market can cause things to fluctuate, things can go down, but with a CD, you're guaranteed that rate over its term.
Well, with a savings account, you're not getting 5.5% either. I mean, you're getting nothing hardly.
Pretty much. And so if you have that extra cash lying around and you know it's money that you can be able to put in and lock up for a little while, it is worthwhile right now to jump into a CD.
Okay, you had a really good point. We've just been kind of talking in theory a little bit, Jordan and I have, and I mentioned graduation season is right upon us. You said this can be a good thing for families out there, parents or grandparents. You put that in, and then you can take the profit and then just put it back into your continued education fund.
You sure can. So if you have kids getting ready to go off to college, or if you have grandkids getting ready to go off to college, it's a great investment to kind of set one up to mature their freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Give them some cash going into each semester, but also give them a little bit of a leg up in their future. Because that money's going to earn some interest on them.
Not everyone is going to have the $10,000 to put in. And by the way, let's suppose you wanted to put in 30. Can you do that, or is 10,000 your max?
You could put in 30. You could put in as much as you want to for the special we have going on. $10,000 is the minimum investment. But for a regular CD, but the rates are a little bit lower, $1,000 is the only barrier of entry.
What is the difference in the interest rate? Do you know?
I do not know off the top of my head, but that's one of those things that one of our member solution specialists at a branch or somebody in our live line can be able to help answer, because our rates can change a little bit. They can fluctuate on a daily, sometimes weekly basis on those.
You were talking about if you have the money to kind of save and not have to need. One thing, though, that happens sometimes, I bet you see this, is that it's hard to maybe part with that money mentally, but you end up saving more in the long run, because if it's in your savings account, you can access that and go through it.
And that's the big thing. When it comes to savings and checking, they're important to have. It's important to have some liquid cash in there to kind of help you in an emergency situation or something that you don't want to have to go through a process of doing an early withdrawal. With a CD, the money is locked up, so it's a good thing knowing the rate is there and the money's put aside, but it can cause some issues if you're trying to withdraw it early. There could be some penalties involved. You also can't add to a CD. So a CD is really one of those additional accounts you can get once you know how much you can be able to set aside to save.
Okay, so you had said you wanted to focus on long-term and short-term savings goals. So I would think the 10-month CD is going to be a short-term. You do have longer terms available?
We do. We have terms that go up to a couple years. It really just depends on what you're looking for. So if you're trying to buy something like a car, maybe you know within a year you're going to have to put down a good bit of cash to be able to put a down payment. Maybe that's a shorter term, 6 months, 10 months, somewhere in that ballpark. But trying to buy a house, that could be a little bit longer term of a savings goal, or your retirement could be a little bit longer. So you might want to lock your money up for a couple years to kind of get the best benefit possible.
I'll let the mom and me come out for a minute, because I do think about this being graduation season. I've raised 2 girls. And so once you hit college, and you probably saw this in your own life, those credit card solicitations just come they're maddening. So at the credit union, you have something called?
So we have a secured credit card you can get, and it lets you build some credit. So it's one of those things. You can stop by one of our branches or tap into our live stream department, or even call our live line, and they can kind of walk you through the process and help you apply. But you can just set aside some money, they take it, they secure the card with it, so your interest rate isn't too bad on the card, and it helps you build credit.
Okay, but you're kind of secure because they're not going to extend that credit. You put the money in, you're kind of drawing off of your own money. What about your hours? Y'all have done a great job of making it accessible for people who don't necessarily can get to the bank before 4.
So Monday through Saturday, we're open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So our lobbies and our branches aren't open on Saturdays, but we have our live stream, so you can download our app or connect to us at tvfcu.com. You can also call 423-634-3600 and talk to somebody in our live line. But we try to be as accessible as we can be, and it's something that kind of gives us that leg up.
You mentioned the example of you're saving for a car, that's your goal. Have you found in your experience in banking it's helpful for people to identify the goal and not just the theoretical?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is labeling your money, first figuring out how much is coming in and coming out, but then also figuring out what do I need to buy or what do I need to save towards. It might be a car, might be a house, it could even just be your retirement where you want to be able to give yourself a better foundation when you get to that age. And so identifying those and figuring out how much money you can put towards each goal is incredibly important.
Back to your CD, $10,000 minimum, 10-month term, 5.5%
APY.
APY. Well, how long are you offering this?
That is a good question. I'm not sure how long it's going to be out there. It's a special we're doing right now, so we're trying to get people excited in the community for it and come and take advantage of it because we're not sure how long it's going to be out there.
Well, you got me excited.
I know.
So here's where you'll find them. It's tvfcu.com is their website. Any of the branches around town, and there's probably nowhere you can live and watch us right now that they don't have a location. So that 7 to 7 time frame is there for you to access all the time. But even if you're not completely local for a branch, the tvfcu.com website's there for you.
It sure is.
And they will happily help you towards those long and short-term goals. Thank you.
Thank you.